Have you ever felt the pressure to please others, to mold yourself to external expectations, to let your emotions guide your decisions? This constant search for validation can be exhausting, draining your energy and trapping you in an endless cycle. Imagining a life free from this dependence, where your decisions are guided by solid principles and your happiness doesn't depend on external approval, is inspiring, isn't it? Stoicism can show you how. Stoicism is not a dogma, but a powerful tool for building a more authentic and resilient life. It's not just about abstract philosophies. It's a practical journey to understand and master your emotions, to deal with adversities with serenity, and to build a solid foundation for true happiness. Many imagine Stoicism as a philosophy for philosophers, but believe me, it has practical and direct applications for your everyday life. Imagine the possibility of making more assertive decisions, controlling your emotions, and responding to challenges with clarity and determination. You will discover that the key to a fulfilling life does not lie in external circumstances, but in your inner capacity to deal with them. This path, however, requires deep understanding and conscious application. This is not a shortcut to happiness, it's an invitation to self-discovery. Stoicism will help you identify the forces that prevent you from reaching your potential, showing you the way to free yourself from external influences and build an inner fortress immune to life's storms. You will understand how your emotions are shaped by your thoughts and how to learn to control them for a more balanced and content life. Imagine the feeling of controlling your thoughts and reactions instead of being moved by emotional impulses. Understanding the nuances of Stoicism goes beyond simply learning concepts. It's about transforming these concepts into concrete actions, into gradual and consistent changes in your behavior and thinking. Unlock the secrets of focusing on what you can control: your actions, your thoughts, and your reactions. Discover the power of directing your focus to what is truly under your domain, learning to identify and deal with external pressures. You will find a practical guide to deal with criticism, frustrations, unexpected changes, and even loss without losing your emotional balance. Facing adversities without being overwhelmed will become a natural skill. By delving into Stoicism, you will not only be learning a philosophy, you will be building a more meaningful and fulfilling life. You will begin to see life with more clarity, with more discernment, and with greater control over your emotions and reactions. Imagine the feeling of serenity and resilience you will have when dealing with difficulties. You will understand that true strength lies not in avoiding suffering, but in managing it constructively. Learn to see life with a broader and more balanced perspective. With Stoicism, you will be ready to deal with any situation life presents, always with serenity and inner strength. We live in a world where external approval, the expectations of others, and the opinions of others often shape our decisions and our emotions. We pursue validation, acceptance, and constant admiration, often forgetting that true happiness lies in a different place, within ourselves. This unbridled search for external approval can leave us anxious, insecure, and dependent on external factors to define our worth. Stoicism emerges as a powerful and transformative alternative, offering a path to emotional self-sufficiency and genuine independence. In an increasingly volatile and complex world, the ability to deal with adversities with serenity and resilience is more crucial than ever. Social pressure, economic insecurity, and constant changes push us to seek answers outside of ourselves. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers a solid foundation to face these challenges, highlighting the importance of focusing on what is under our control: our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. Imagine the possibility of building a strong mindset immune to external influences, allowing your happiness to not depend on the opinion of others. Understanding what Stoicism is requires going beyond the superficial and delving into its foundations. The Stoic philosophy does not propose ignoring the people around you, but rather understanding the crucial distinction between what is under our control and what is not. What we control are our choices, the way we react, the perspective we adopt. The traffic jam, the criticism from a co-worker, the frustration of a delayed project. These situations, despite affecting us, are outside of our direct control. The Stoic secret lies in recognizing this distinction and focusing on the elements that we can actually influence. One of the fundamental pillars of Stoicism is the ability to separate the things that are under our control from those that are not. Imagine a friend who expresses an opinion different from yours. You can react with irritation, allowing the opinion of others to affect your state of mind, or you can choose to react with calm and respect, focusing on your own principles. The Stoic practice teaches us to recognize that happiness does not depend on external events, but on our inner capacity to manage our reactions and thoughts. This deep understanding brings greater tranquility and freedom in relation to external influence. The Stoic journey invites us to a deep analysis of our own reactions and emotions. By recognizing that happiness does not lie in external circumstances, but in our inner capacity to deal with them, the path to self-sufficiency becomes clearer. Stoicism does not promise a life free of challenges, but rather the ability to face them with resilience and focus. With this perspective, you will be ready to build a more authentic and balanced life, free from the constant need for external approval. Want to master your emotions and build an authentic life, free from external dependence? Sign up now and participate in the discussions. Your opinion is crucial to help us deepen the understanding of Stoicism. Share your insights and experiences in the comments. Together we will build a community of learning and growth. Transforming your relationship with external circumstances and internalizing inner strength is the central objective of Stoicism. It's not about ignoring the people around you, but about learning to separate what is under your control from what is not. By taking responsibility for your emotions and reactions, you will be building the foundation for a more resilient and fulfilling life. How can we then achieve this emotional independence? The key lies in a series of practical and applicable steps for everyday life. One of the first steps is the practice of self-observation. Observe how you react to challenging situations. When someone criticizes you, how do you feel? Identify the patterns in your emotional reactions. Noticing these patterns is the first step to controlling them. Imagine a dissatisfied customer. Instead of getting carried away by an emotional response, try to analyze the situation objectively. What can you control? Your service, your posture, your focus on resolving the problem. By directing your attention to the controllable, you diminish the influence of what is not within your reach. Another fundamental step is the development of self-awareness. What are your values? What beliefs guide you? Understanding your core values helps you make decisions aligned with them, regardless of external pressure. Imagine a new project at work. By reflecting on your professional goals and values, you will be more prepared to make decisions consistent with your convictions, even in the face of possible obstacles. Understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your motivations and desires, will help you navigate the complexities of life with greater clarity and resilience. Remember that Stoicism is a journey, not a destination. It's not an instant process. Start with small steps. Identify situations where you feel dependent on other people for your happiness. Observe how you react to them. Practice self-reflection, questioning whether your reactions are justified. Replace negative thoughts with more positive thoughts. Focusing on controllable aspects, recognize your strengths and learn from your mistakes. Each day, identify an aspect of your life where you feel stuck to external approval and gradually work to detach your emotions from it. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of acceptance. Understanding that we cannot always control the results is fundamental. Imagine that you have worked hard to complete an important project and it has not achieved the desired goal. Instead of getting carried away by disappointment, Stoicism encourages you to accept the result and learn from the experience. By recognizing that certain results are beyond your reach, you direct your focus to learning and continuous growth. By applying these principles in your daily life, you will be cultivating a Stoic mindset, becoming more resilient and authentic. The key is to practice constantly, allowing these principles to integrate into your daily habits. If you follow these steps gradually, you will notice how your emotional dependence decreases and your inner independence increases. It's a gradual transformation that leads to a more meaningful and balanced life. Life is a series of challenges and unforeseen events. These events, sometimes painful and unexpected, often reveal our true nature and how we relate to the world around us. Imagine a moment when you felt deeply disappointed, perhaps by the loss of a job, by a relationship that ended, or by a project that failed. In these crucial moments, how do you react? It is at this crucial point that the understanding of Stoicism becomes truly vital. The impulsive reaction, hopelessness, and dependence on external factors to validate your worth can trap you in a cycle of suffering and unhappiness. Do you recognize yourself in any of these situations? Frustration, anger, sadness, unmet expectations. All of them can drown us in a sea of negative emotions. In these moments, Stoicism offers us a path to resilience, to emotional control, and to building a more authentic life, free from external influences. The key is to understand that our reaction to these events is the only aspect that is under our direct control. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. Imagine a situation where you feel pressured by a tight deadline at work. The workload is high, external pressures are intense, and you feel overwhelmed. The natural tendency is to get carried away by stress and anxiety. At this moment, the Stoic philosophy guides us to analyze the situation objectively. What is really under your control? What actions can you take now to mitigate the situation? You can prioritize tasks, delegate responsibilities, or even ask for help. This type of reflection, essential in Stoicism, helps you direct your energy to the areas you can influence. You don't need to eliminate problems or adversities, but learn to deal with them in a more conscious and productive way. Focusing on what is controllable, your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, is a fundamental tool for navigating these challenging moments. It's not about ignoring the difficulties, but about accepting them as opportunities for personal growth. A crucial turning point in understanding Stoicism is the ability to recognize that suffering is often inevitable. Life by its nature is permeated by losses, failures, and frustrations. Stoicism does not seek to eliminate suffering, but rather to teach us to manage it wisely, extracting valuable lessons from adverse experiences. One of the crucial teachings is that control lies in our thoughts and our reactions. Understanding that we have no control over the external allows us to release our energy and focus on building a solid foundation for resilience, serenity, and inner happiness. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers us practical tools to deal with life's challenges in a more effective and constructive way. One of its fundamental pillars is the distinction between what is under our control and what is not. This understanding, seemingly simple, is the key to unlocking greater serenity and emotional resilience. Let's explore this crucial concept, step by step. First, identify what is under your control. It's not about ignoring the problems, but about focusing on the aspects you can influence. Imagine a project at work that is not going as planned. What is under your control? Your dedication to the project, your ability to organize tasks, your attitude towards the difficulties encountered. Recognizing these areas is the first step to directing your efforts to what really matters. Next, observe what is outside of your control. The reaction of other people, the economy, unforeseen events. All these factors are beyond your immediate reach. Understanding this is essential to avoid frustration and anxiety. If a collaborator has a negative reaction to your suggestion, it does not necessarily mean that your idea is wrong. The key is not to cling to the need for external approval, but to stay focused on your own values and goals. This distinction is crucial to avoid being affected by the opinions of others. Another fundamental concept is acceptance. Accepting that we do not always get what we want, or that the final result will not always be as expected. Imagine that you planned a social event, but it had to be postponed. Instead of getting frustrated, try to accept the situation. What alternatives do you have? How can you adapt your plan to move forward without being overwhelmed by the unforeseen? Acceptance does not mean resignation, but rather a recognition of reality, which allows us to adjust the course of things. Another key concept is self-control. How do you respond to challenging situations? It's important to identify the patterns of your reactions and seek more constructive alternatives. A dissatisfied customer is an opportunity to learn and improve your service. A moment of crisis at work is a test of your problem-solving ability. Self-control is the ability to manage your emotions, thoughts, and actions consciously, avoiding impulsive reactions. Imagine a compliment from a co-worker. You can feel grateful and appreciate the recognition without letting it affect your self-esteem. Accepting praise without being carried away by excessive pride is equally vital for emotional balance. By detaching yourself from the need for constant validation, you strengthen your inner independence. Finally, consistent practice is essential. Stoicism is a path, not a destination. Incorporate these principles into your daily routine. Practice self-observation, recognize what is under your control, and work to develop self-control and acceptance. Over time, you will build a solid foundation for resilience and inner peace, becoming less dependent on external factors for your happiness. It's a gradual process, but extremely rewarding. Understanding Stoic principles is one thing. Applying them in real life, however, is another. Let's deepen our understanding by exploring how to deal with practical challenges and obstacles that arise when trying to apply Stoicism in everyday life. Imagine challenging situations and see how Stoic principles can offer effective solutions. A common challenge is the influence of external opinions. How do we prevent criticism, judgments, or others' expectations from affecting our self-esteem and well-being? Stoic practice encourages us to focus on our own actions and values. Imagine a friend who expresses disapproval of one of your projects. Instead of feeling dejected, try to understand your friend's perspective but keep your focus on your own goals and values. Identify which aspect of the criticism really matters for your personal development and which are merely superficial judgments. Another obstacle is the difficulty in dealing with frustration. Waiting for a desired result, the postponement of a project, or the loss of an opportunity can be frustrating. How can Stoicism help navigate these situations? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on what is within our control, our actions and reactions. Instead of focusing on the frustration of the expected outcome, focus on the action needed to achieve success. Analyze what needs to be done and start working without clinging to the immediate result. If frustration arises, use it as a catalyst to seek solutions rather than an insurmountable barrier. Time management is also a crucial point where Stoic principles can be applied. Constant rushing and multitasking can generate stress and anxiety. How can we optimize our time, prioritizing tasks and avoiding distractions, following Stoic principles? Set realistic goals and prioritize tasks in order of importance. Use the Pomodoro technique to focus on specific tasks for short periods. Identify distractions and set limits for them. By managing your time better, you reduce pressure and find greater mental clarity. Dealing with adversity, such as loss or failure, requires emotional maturity. How can Stoicism help deal with these difficult moments and avoid being affected by suffering? Stoic philosophy encourages us to accept what we cannot control and focus on our own reactions. Realizing that we are not responsible for the outcome of everything that happens to us makes it possible to separate our reaction from the situation itself. View failures as learning opportunities, as necessary steps towards future success. Regarding complex situations and conflicts, the Stoic perspective can be invaluable. How do we apply logic and reason to make better decisions regardless of pressure or emotion? Prioritize reason over emotion. Evaluate situations objectively, seeking to understand the root causes of conflicts. Consider different points of view and seek mutually beneficial solutions. Understand that conflicts are learning opportunities and can result in creative and innovative solutions. Establish a constructive dialogue focused on finding solutions. By gradually applying Stoic principles, you will notice the results in your life. Remember that Stoicism is a continuous process of learning and improvement. It is a path to achieving resilience, serenity, and inner independence. Focus on small victories and celebrate your progress along the way. As we deepen our Stoic journey, we can explore more advanced strategies for dealing with complexities and achieving a higher level of emotional independence. Let's analyze how Stoic practice can help in situations of great pressure and how this impacts our relationship with the outside world. A crucial aspect is the practice of ataraxia, or tranquility. It's not about ignoring difficulties, but about developing it through the ability to control our reactions to them. Imagine a moment when you feel pressured by a series of tight deadlines. Instead of succumbing to panic, Stoicism suggests that you focus on what you can control: the organization of your tasks, strategic planning, and the search for efficient solutions. Ataraxia is the key to transforming chaos into focus and pressure into opportunities for growth. A concept intrinsically linked to this is Stoic apatheia, not as an absence of emotion, but as the ability to separate your response to something from the situation itself. An example: you receive negative feedback about your work. Instead of being carried away by disappointment or anger, Stoicism encourages you to analyze the criticism objectively. What is constructive in this criticism? What can you learn from it? In this way, you transform a potentially negative situation into an opportunity for professional growth. Virtue is another essential pillar of Stoicism. It leads us to act according to our principles, regardless of external rewards. Imagine a moment when you need to make a difficult decision at work that goes against the opinion of an influential colleague. Stoic philosophy encourages you to make the decision that is most aligned with justice and integrity, even if it generates negative consequences. This demonstrates that your inner strength lies in your values and your moral conscience. The ability to focus on what is within our control and to accept what is outside also extends to personal relationships. Stoicism teaches us to recognize that we are responsible for our reactions to other people, but not for their actions. An example: you feel frustrated by a co-worker's lack of cooperation. Applying Stoicism, you focus on your own behavior, your communication, and your collaboration, without clinging to the need for the other person to change. Another relevant case is financial crises and market changes. Instead of being affected by market fluctuations, Stoicism guides us to develop a resilient and strategic mindset, focusing on what is within our control: our skills, our knowledge, and our ability to adapt. Stoic practice is not limited to specific situations, it is a lifestyle. It is a constant training to recognize what we can control and the importance of not clinging to the outcome of situations that are beyond our reach. It is through this deep understanding that we achieve true emotional independence, the ability to stand firm in our values and goals even in the face of adversity. It is in the ability to understand the limits of our control that we find the key to true freedom. Stoic philosophy, far from being a mere academic exercise, demonstrates a significant impact on modern life. Several studies demonstrate the correlation between the practice of Stoic principles and improvement in emotional well-being and resilience. Research shows that individuals who apply Stoic logic and self-control tend to exhibit lower levels of stress and anxiety, demonstrating a greater ability to deal with life's adversities. A study published in the Journal of Happiness Studies, for example, analyzed the relationship between the practice of meditation based on Stoic principles and the reduction of anxiety symptoms in individuals under pressure. The results showed a positive and significant correlation between the practical application of Stoic teachings and a significant reduction in anxiety levels. This data reinforces the idea that Stoic philosophy is not limited to abstract concepts, but rather to practical strategies for dealing with challenging day-to-day situations. In addition to academic research, several historical figures demonstrate how Stoic principles drove decision-making and well-being. Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, is a notable example. His ability to maintain serenity amid political and personal adversities, recorded in his letters and diaries, demonstrates the power of Stoic practice. His ability to remain calm, even in the midst of challenging events and high-pressure situations, demonstrates the effectiveness of principles such as acceptance and self-control. Consider the example of contemporary figures who apply Stoic insights in their lives. Many business leaders, high-performance athletes, and successful individuals in different areas demonstrate the importance of applying Stoic principles to increase resilience, decision-making, and the ability to deal with unforeseen events. Their ability to handle difficult situations with serenity and strategy, not being overwhelmed by adverse results or unmet expectations, demonstrates the applicability of Stoic concepts in modern life. The applicability of Stoic concepts also extends to the professional sphere. Studies on leadership demonstrate that leaders who use Stoic principles, such as the ability to remain focused on what can be controlled, the long-term perspective, and the prioritization of reason over emotion, tend to achieve better results and motivate their teams more effectively. Their ability to manage pressure, remain focused on their goals, and inspire their team through serenity are examples of leadership strengthened by Stoic practice. The search for emotional independence is not a solitary task. Stoic philosophy, supported by research and historical and contemporary examples, provides a solid framework for personal and professional development. The key is to practice these principles daily, seeking balance between what is under control and what is not, prioritizing action and not being overwhelmed by unforeseen events. This practice contributes to greater well-being, improving the ability to deal with challenges and leading to a more balanced and meaningful life. The adoption of Stoic teachings provides tangible results, boosting productivity, leadership, and personal well-being. Now we come to a crucial point. We've seen how Stoic philosophy can positively impact our lives, but doubts may still arise. Let's clarify the crucial points and ensure you have the tools you need to start your Stoic journey. A frequent question is whether Stoicism is really applicable in everyday life, or if it's just an abstract philosophy. The answer is a resounding yes. The truth is that Stoic teachings are practical and effective tools for dealing with the challenges of daily life. You just need to find a way to incorporate them into your routine. Imagine a leader who uses logic and reason to make crucial decisions. This is a practice derived from Stoic principles, and it can be applied by anyone in any context. Another common issue is the difficulty in maintaining discipline and consistency in Stoic practice. It's natural to have better and worse days. The key is to remember that practice is a continuous process, and like any skill, it requires dedication and perseverance. Don't expect immediate results. Start with small steps. Observe your reactions and seek adjustments. Identify a specific problem and apply a Stoic principle to solve it. Consistency is built gradually through small daily changes. And what about the need to sacrifice emotions and feelings to become Stoic? Remember that Stoic philosophy does not advocate the suppression of emotions, but rather their conscious management. It's about distinguishing between the emotions we can control and those that are reactions to external circumstances. An example: you are frustrated with traffic. Instead of letting yourself be dominated by anger, you can use that frustration to practice acceptance, recognizing that you have no control over the traffic, but you do have control over your reaction to it. Some people feel intimidated by the apparent complexity of Stoicism, but the truth is that its fundamental principles are in reality quite simple. It's about focusing on what is within your control, understanding what you cannot control, and then directing your energy towards what you can influence. It is a philosophy that aims to simplify complexity, not complicate it. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. Constant practice and self-observation are the keys to growth and inner transformation. Another important point is to recognize that the Stoic journey is personal. There is no magic formula. What works for one person may not work for another. Find practical ways to apply Stoic principles to your life, adapting them to your needs and goals. Finally, remember that the search for emotional independence is not a race against time. It is a continuous journey of self-knowledge and personal growth. It's about building a life centered on your own values and goals, free from the need for external approval. Understanding the importance of Stoic philosophy is the first step towards achieving a fuller and more meaningful life. Continue learning, practicing, and allowing yourself to evolve each day. Let's revisit the key points of this journey through Stoicism. We've discovered that true emotional independence doesn't lie in eliminating challenges, but in how we face them. Stoic philosophy offers us a powerful tool for building a more resilient life centered on our values and goals, free from the constant need for external approval. It's not about ignoring the people around you, but understanding that our happiness doesn't depend on them, but on ourselves. Throughout this process, we've learned to separate what is within our control from what is not, identifying what we can influence, our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and what is beyond our control, the opinions of others, external circumstances, is fundamental. This distinction is the key to emotional serenity. Recognizing this separation allows us to direct our energy towards what we can change, minimizing the influence of what is not in our hands. We've seen that Stoic practice is not a destination, but a continuous path. Don't expect perfection. The key is perseverance and daily practice. Start with small steps. Identify a situation in your life where you feel dependent on the opinions of others. Observe how you react to that situation. What is your initial reaction? What would be a more Stoic reaction? Develop a strategy to deal with that situation, focusing on your values and what is within your reach. The benefits of applying these teachings to your life are significant and lasting. You'll build a resilient mindset, capable of dealing with life's challenges and unexpected events with greater serenity. Be more confident in your decisions, because you'll be guided by your values and your conscience. Learn to find satisfaction in yourself. Without depending on external validation, your happiness will become less dependent on external circumstances and more anchored in your own actions and thoughts. But Stoicism is not a goal to be achieved, but a path to be walked. It's a philosophy that is reflected and manifested through small daily actions. Find small examples in your routine and try to apply Stoic principles to them. As you look back at your journey, notice how much you have already evolved. Celebrate the small victories and, above all, don't be discouraged by difficulties. Each step forward is an achievement. To continue exploring the Stoic journey, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and actively participate in the discussions. Share your experiences and knowledge. Together, we can build a community of support and mutual growth. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, but a lifestyle that invites you on a continuous journey of self-knowledge and self-control. This is the time to take the next step. The Stoic journey is an invitation to self-discovery, a path to building resilience and true emotional independence. It's not about isolating yourself from the world, but about connecting with yourself more deeply, building an inner fortress capable of withstanding life's storms. Throughout this journey, we've learned that our happiness doesn't depend on external circumstances, but on how we respond to them. Understanding this distinction is fundamental to Stoic practice. We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react. This ability to manage our reactions is the key to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Imagine the feeling of being calm and in control, regardless of external circumstances. Remember, Stoicism is not a magic solution, but a continuous learning process. It's a process of cultivating virtues such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. By cultivating these virtues, you'll be building a solid foundation to face life's challenges with serenity and resilience. It's like building a house, brick by brick, stone by stone. Each small action, each reflection, each decision aligned with your values contributes to the construction of this inner fortress. And above all, remember that true emotional independence is not a goal to be achieved, but a state of mind to be cultivated. It's a daily achievement, a continuous learning process. And as you delve deeper into Stoic practice, you'll realize that your dependence on external approvals gradually decreases, opening space for a more authentic way of relating to the world and to yourself. Imagine the possibilities of a life guided by your own values, your own principles. A life where your happiness doesn't depend on external factors, but on your ability to deal with them with serenity. A life where you are truly in control, where you are the architect of your own happiness. This is the promise of Stoicism, a fuller, more meaningful and more independent life. Don't wait for a distant future to apply these teachings. Start today. Start building your own inner fortress. And to continue your journey, I invite you to further explore the teachings of Stoicism. Look for books, articles, videos, podcasts, anything that can broaden your knowledge and deepen your understanding. Participate in discussions, share your experiences, and continue to learn from the richness of this philosophy. Together we can strengthen our resilience and build a more conscious, more connected, and more authentic community. The Stoic path awaits you.